like what types of physical therapies I've been doing, because as I've shared before, a couple of years ago when my FND was at its absolute worst, I couldn't feed myself, I really couldn't use my fingers, I couldn't hold a pen. I still find it difficult to write. I would find it difficult, you know, say I needed to pick something up and hold it. I would find communication like that within my own body very difficult. So people have been asking me, like, what have I been doing? And basically wanting exercises. Well, I'll show you some things today. The first thing I really did was a lot of brain training. So a lot of talking between my brain and my body, rather than just going straight into physical exercises. When I went into physical exercises, it was actually extremely difficult. So I would suggest starting with your brain training first. So with the brain training, it's just like positive reinforcement, thinking about what different things feel like, remembering how it felt to move, things like that. Actually, as much as it sounds like it wouldn't help, it really does. From there, I went into like touching different surfaces. So we started with things like even slime, Play-Doh, stuff like that my daughter would make, and I would practice just squeezing it and things like that, and just like thinking about how it felt, the coolness of it, the texture of it, getting my fingers moving. And the reason I started with something so soft as slime is because I really didn't have a lot of fine motor control. So starting with something really soft and that you know is obviously not going to hurt you is a really good starting point. Next, I moved on to things like Play-Doh, plasticine, clay, just getting, you know, materials that are that little bit harder. Now that I'm quite good, I actually do things like helping with cooking. So I might make pasta dough or pizza dough, things that actually help. And then I feel like I'm contributing to the home because I haven't been able to do that. So I have washed my hands in between, don't worry. This is samosa dough. I've already kneaded it, but you know, sometimes I might be able to knead something for only, you know, 30 seconds. Sometimes I might be able to knead it on and off for 5 minutes. It just depends how I'm feeling, but as you can see, it takes a lot more than just my fingers. I have to really use my whole entire arm. So if you do get to this stage, remember that you really do need to build up. Start with just, you know, 10, 20 seconds at a time, even until you get used to it. So a lot of those things are about sensitizing yourself, so feeling different surfaces as well as starting to add in movement. What I mostly do now is I'm trying to really get those signals to my hands working properly. I still find writing very difficult, things like typing very difficult, but what I have been doing is making Lego with my son. So I get very simple ones and we make them either on my own or together, and they're actually a lot more difficult than you would think. So even something as small as this, which has just a little tree, a spider, and some minifigs, can take me a really long time. So when you're starting off, maybe just start with building one minifig. You'll find it quite difficult to start off with. And then you don't need to keep buying new sets. You know, use the same set until you get like quite competent with it and really confident with it. So I'll pull poor Ron apart. And even little things like no longer using the booklet and remembering how your little minifig went together. So see, even now I do struggle with these sorts of things. So putting my minifig together, putting the body on the legs, head, the hair, and that's kind of how I'm feeling actually, if you can see Ron's face, and then adding in the lantern. So that didn't take me too long, but remember that this is something I've been really practicing for a while now. So although I didn't demonstrate it just before when I was putting minifig Ron together, there's actually a lot of self-talk that goes into this as I'm doing it. So I'll pull him apart again and maybe say my thoughts out loud so you can kind of hear how I'm like thinking and talking to my brain. So it's quite complex. I'll be thinking, okay, to pick it up, you need your forefinger and your thumb to squeeze together, but not too hard. And then pick up the other piece with your other thumb and forefinger, and carefully push it on. It will feel a bit of pressure, but that pressure is okay. That's what you want it to feel. It's not hurting you, you're safe. Add on his head with the same pressure and feeling. His hair, same pressure and feeling, still safe. And followed by his lantern, and you've accomplished Ron. So I'm actually still saying this in my head.